no easy feat on that tip either. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's like that's like I was like, wow, like, like like you might as well have like drop kicked me on Mars and been like, survive. It's like,
So this podcast is about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk about your new record as well.
all right, where are you based out of? Where are you?
I'm in Nashville.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah,
this is some American vibes.
yes, American vibes. I'm originally from San Diego. I moved my family and I
Oh,
moved
nice.
to Tennessee about
Gotcha.
6 or 8 months ago.
Oh, nice. You digging it?
Love it here. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, I don't know
Nice.
anything else other than California.
Oh,
So it's
nice.
been interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was San
Yeah.
Diego and I lived in San Francisco for a while.
Oh,
But
wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm from New York, and California was new to me 10 years ago, and now it's my spot.
are you in LA?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, very, very cool. Awesome. So you were born and raised in New York or Long Island?
Yes. Yeah, Brooklyn, and then Long Island, then Manhattan, and then here.
Wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
all over New York. What was it like growing up
Yeah.
in New York?
I mean, uh I mean, good, like they say, it's really real. It's like so much realer than California. It's like, whatever, dude. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Like, New York, East Coast, it's fucking cold.
Uh-huh.
I liked it. New York City, it was like Brooklyn, New York City, like they can stay. Long Island can, you know,
How much time did you spend in Long Island? You were born in Long Island,
yeah.
right?
No, Brooklyn, and then
Oh, you're born
we
in
moved to
Brooklyn.
Long Island. So I was on Long Island for most of my, youth. But but yeah, no, I mean, it's the most redlined place in America. How's
Sure.
that?
Well, it's cool. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that grown up there, and you can pretty much, I mean, you can get around as a young kid. You
Yeah, I
can
mean, you could go
go
to New York
a
City
lot of
all the time.
places.
Yes, yeah, that's the thing that's why we take off to New York City. Well, some of us do as soon as we can, but yeah, I don't want to bust on Long Island, but
Well, how did you
whatever.
how did you get into music?
How to get into music? I crawled over glass to get there. You know what I mean?
Ouch.
Basically, I was like, I don't know. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. My mom died when I was a teenager, and I just was like, you know what? Like all this like nonsense about being a lawyer or a doctor can kiss my ass. I
Mhm.
was just like, I think I'm gonna do what I want, and then I just been doing what I want for a long time. And then
I
yeah,
love it.
I got lucky. I worked really hard. I had no idea where to begin.
Mhm.
I've had 7 record deals in the States alone. I am uh yeah, and then I just think like ultimately, people be like, I love when people be like, you really hung in there. You really hung on. You really worked. You hung in there. You know what I mean? Like you kept going and going. Like I'm like, yeah. And then I got really lucky, and because I know motherfuckers that like kept going too, and it didn't happen. So I consider myself, I have so much appreciation
Mhm.
and gratitude for like where I've gotten, and I just love writing songs and singing them. So I just concentrate on that, man.
I love that. I know I was just looking at your collection, your catalog, and the first record you put out was 20 years ago. Isn't that
Yeah.
incredible?
Yeah, man, that was my first indie deal, and yeah, and I just like I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, and I just kind of, I don't know, I just went with it,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, it was like kind of on some Americana stuff. Like I truly didn't know myself. Like,
Mhm.
like that's the thing. Like, I think songwriting has been like, the joy of my life has been like discovering songwriting. Because I don't know about you. I don't know if you're a musician or whatever, but like,
Just a
you
huge
know,
fan.
I certainly, yeah, right on. I certainly didn't know where songs come from. You know what I mean? Like, I
Mhm.
mean, it's a bigger mystery than where babies came from when I was a kid. I was like, oh, yeah, where do these things get made? Like, who's making them? And so, I still don't know. I'll be honest with you, but I think that but it was such an esoteric thing to like kind of figure out how to where they where they originate.
Mhm.
What is going on out there? Sorry.
Okay. It's all
Oh, okay.
good.
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
Everything all good
so
outside?
yeah, I mean, of course, someone's just deciding to like, punch a hole in the street right now.
Right, of course.
Whatever, all good. But yeah, you know, I think, because I knew I could sing. You know what I mean? Like people always like, oh my god, but so many people can sing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like, it's not a thing to me that's like, that's your in. Even though
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was my in to get into like writing songs. Like like they let me write songs because I could sing, I guess.
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
but I felt a great responsibility to kind of you know to to myself, and to like figure out how to do this thing. And so I just like I just kept going. So I feel like 20 years ago I was writing these like bluesy, like kind of like Americana style songs, because I frankly didn't know how else to sing at that point, and
Mhm.
but I knew that I loved pop songs, and I think I was always on a quest to like, and then my next record that I made was like Suburban Sprawl and Alcohol or something like that. And that,
Mhm.
I can see there when I was starting to get more like wanting to write songs that were more like pop, but I still didn't know, how to get there. And um, I mean people were like, people like Linda Perry were coming in and out of my life. And
That's
um,
so cool.
yeah, like we wrote a song oh, my dog is having a fucking meltdown today. Are you right? Like he did some crazy thing earlier. I don't, can't get into it right now. I don't know what's
It's
happening.
alright.
Like,
I have a
you
dog
okay? Come
too,
here.
and he
Come here.
gets
Come here.
moody. I get it.
Yeah, like I don't know, like that my friend was here, or the assistant, and she just like she brushed past him, and he had lost his mind with his like foot or something like that. And then I don't know, and but she said nothing happened, but he's fragile.
Okay. I hope he's alright.
I know. I mean, look at those legs. Legs for
So
days.
cute, so cute
Anyway, so
though.
yeah, so where was I? I was saying, I was like really discovering myself, and I just wanted to really I wanted to I just try to be as prolific as possible. And then
Uh-huh.
really, after my first two major label deals that didn't yield any record, because it was just I don't know, it was just like I was on like 3 years. I was like cranking out songs, writing with all these huge people, and they're putting me in a million different directions because they couldn't figure out what to do with me. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
I get it. Like I mean, shit happens, but and then one song got picked for the Backstreet Boys. And
Which
then
is
I
huge.
embarked on a songwriting career, which I thought was the end game for me. You know what I mean? I certainly didn't think that I was. Look at this guy; he's just trying to get so much sympathy right now, and it's okay. And and he I mean, I didn't think I was going to go back to the artist thing, in that I'd already had four record deals,
Mhm.
two indie and two major, so I was just like doubtful that I'm gonna get, so I really put my head down. At that point, that was like the most, I think, life-changing thing that happened to me, because again, no thought at all toward like I'm gonna be an artist again. Like, because after that, I was like on Warner Brothers, and then to the Wild phase, and that whole thing. And then I, played Warner Brothers Lost on You and a bunch of other songs that like blew me up, and they
Mhm.
dropped me, and then I was on another, so that hadn't even happened yet. So here I am in 2009 to like, um, mid 2011, kind of writing songs for other people and trying to write as many songs as I can with as many different genres, you know what I mean? Because I just wanted to make sure that I didn't get pigeonholed into some genre. And then because you really like you need to like get a lot of songs cut to like
Mhm.
do well as a songwriter. You don't have
Sure.
that, that artist like live music money coming at you, or
Right, yeah,
any
it's
other
not like you
things,
write one song and you could just hang up the cleats, right?
yeah, that, yeah, and yeah, it could just like, you could just tour for the rest of your life on that,
Right.
whatever. But yeah, as a songwriter, you have to, you know, it's a lot of work. So, but I kind of put my head down and tried to really you know go as hard as I could. And
Hmm.
during that time, I think somehow I think other artists have like explained this, that's similar things have happened to them, that I found my way back to myself. Like I started writing these songs. I started playing ukulele. I played guitar, but I was like, guitar seemed so like such a burden to like bring to a session, especially in these sessions that were like, a lot of like, track stuff, like writing to track and stuff like
Right,
that.
right.
I'd bring this ukulele and then, get the melodies down and then maybe write lyrics off in the corner with the ukulele,
Hmm.
instead of listening to that you know, shit
Sure.
like that. So like, so I just like I started like having fun with music again, to be
Uh-huh.
honest, because like to be honest, after all that like poking and prodding in the major label system, being a songwriter was just like a bit of a relief, because I didn't like, I wasn't like what I look like, what my single is, what's going to be my sound, what's going to be my
Oh,
calling
I,
card as
I
an
can
artist,
imagine that being so overwhelming with so many opinions
dude.
about your own art. Like, I mean,
Yeah, it's
wow.
terrible. And I'm not like I'm not your basic female artist, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I had other things going on,
Uh-huh.
and not that that makes it harder. I mean, I've seen like, just the most not to go there, but like the most cis female you've ever seen, who's like perfectly who's heterosexual and and looks perfect and is all the perfect things, um still has a hard time. So it's
Hmm.
not this, it's not harder or easier, but to get yourself through intact, for anybody, and I'm no exception. So
Hmm.
so it was nice to be out of that part and to just like create kind of freely, if you will, like just trying to get my you know myself just as diverse as I could,
Hmm.
and it was cool. And then I always think about it though, and I said like, if I would have had to go anything past like the almost 2 years that I was doing that, I think I would have been hard for me, because I always sing the
Hmm.
demo, and everything, was always like, I used my singing even as a writer, but the fact that I got to do this again as an artist, like now that I've been, up and running like that for like,
For a while, yeah.
almost the last 10 years,
Hmm.
I can look back at that writing stint and go like, well, I really lucked out to like to come back around to this, but that writing stint definitely did me a solid, because I realized that one of the reasons why it was so difficult for me to um, break through, I think one of the reasons was that I actually don't subscribe to genre that much. You know what I mean? I don't really have like, if you go see my live show, I mean, that shit is a rock show, man. Just
Right.
like
Yeah.
I would like, like like let some singing, like I'm like
Sure. Yeah.
wailing my freaking head off, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, and like it's not, I'm not up there singing fucking folk songs,
No.
with a folk voice, you know what I mean? Not that
Hmm.
that's not great or not difficult, but like, I'm just saying it's rock for sure. But, if you listen to my record, the most recent one,
Church.
no
Yeah.
exception, it's it's all over the place, man. Like
It's an
just
incredible
like
album.
really, oh, thanks.
I
I
really, really
appreciate
like
that.
it. And
Thank
I
you
love
very
the
much.
videos that you put out too.
Oh,
Story one
thanks.
and story two for Angel
Oh,
and
good. Oh,
Conversations.
cool.
So cool.
Thank
So
you.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. I've been having fun with videos on this whole record. It's like that's like six already. I mean, I don't know. It's been really fun. I mean, that's definitely. I mean, I think even like, shooting the videos over this pandemic was like the only time I like got to like get out and feel like a normal person again. Like, I
Right.
mean, I think, I mean, when we shot the video for How Low Can You Go, and we went
Uh-huh.
to Mexico, I was like, oh shit, I haven't been on a plane in like a year. It's like, wow, crazy. You know,
Yeah.
um,
I was
yeah.
going to ask you if you don't mind rewinding a little bit here. I was just curious to know like what was the first instrument you learned and like how early on were you writing songs? Like how did this become kind of
Uh,
a path
I
for
mean,
you?
like the first instrument, I mean, I played clarinet and a little bit of piano when I was a kid, but the
Okay.
first instrument was definitely guitar, and the hard part was, and that was like teenage years, but like the hard part was is that I'd been singing for so long that like I didn't like I if I could have one wish to go back in time, would be like to have just like, started right from the get-go playing guitar and singing all the time, because it's like once those things are like locked in, it's like so much easier than like going back and learning how to do it. It's like
Hmm.
I still like sometimes I'm like, whoa, it's like I can't like, as far as like I wish I could play even more intricate, like just more intricate things and sing sometimes.
Hmm.
But yeah, guitar was really the first one that I you know
Started playing.
learned. Yeah.
You were singing prior to that though? Were you like in chorus or choir as a kid?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
totally. I mean, I was always like, people are always like kind of like, well, sing. It's like
Oh, see, they
and
knew you knew you're good early on.
yeah, I mean, well, that's why I decided to like kind of embark on this on the journey, is because like it felt like, out of anything, I mean, I felt like the two things that people were always like kind of like, kind of like, huh, it was like my voice and my personality.
Hmm.
So, I have a lot of personality.
You
So
do. You
so
do.
I figured I'd put it into the pot with the other shit.
I
So
like it.
so yeah, I mean, I just like and and just to like just try to do something that's so in my eyes impossible. It's like I was like I mean, not like, I mean, from a coming from a family of lawyers and doctors, when people are like, like I think my oldest of the cousins were like, so y- you're gonna like be a rock star? And I was like, I don't know, Jim. I don't know. I
We
just
will
don't
see.
fucking know. And he's a doctor. He's like a neonatologist or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just like, I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try, I guess. I don't know. We'll see.
Mhm.
And I don't think anybody was like, I think, when I was on David Letterman, I think that's when people were like, oh, oh, okay,
Isn't
because I
that
mean,
funny? Like, I mean,
yeah.
how long had you had a career prior to being on David Letterman,
I
right?
mean, like 10 years, it's
Right,
like,
yeah.
but I mean, you say had a career. They didn't think I had a career. They thought, it was like kind of like you're throwing your life away, you know?
Right. And I've had a conversation with it was John Nolan, he's in the band Taking Back Sunday. And it
Mm,
was really funny. He told me the story. Like their band was on the cover of like Alt Press magazine, and they were doing these national tours. And it wasn't until his local paper wrote like an article about the
yeah.
band that his family was like, they made it, they did it. Look, the paper's writing
So
about
typical, right?
them.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, so, are you still on that diet? It's like, I'm a vegetarian, I'm vegan, it's been like, I haven't eat like my father, like for like, he's passed away now, but like, for like 10 years after I stopped eating meat, it's like, ah, yeah, you don't eat, so you don't eat chicken now. Yeah, no chicken. No, I'm like, motherfucker, like, how many times do I have to say this to you? You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right. It's like,
it's like
well,
it's like that with like your career. It's like, you're still a musician. It's like, yep, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still a musician. You know.
Did you start writing songs in high school, or when did that kind of come
No, no,
together?
I didn't even write poetry, man. I don't know, like, again, like my voice was really the vehicle that like
Mhm.
like that started it. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't think no, in high school I wouldn't even dream of writing a fucking song. When I was a kid, I wrote a little song with my mom, for like an assignment when I was like, like in first grade. But
Uh-huh.
but no, you didn't like. I mean, like I wrote stories like when I was a kid, like more like, like that. I think that was like something I enjoyed. But yeah, no, I didn't. Like if you would have shown me like when I was like, 12, 13, 14, my head would have popped off, probably with joy. I'd have been like, no
Yeah.
fucking way, I get to do that, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, no, I had no idea, dude. I was so confused. First of all, also because I had to figure myself out sexually too.
Right.
The two. It's like, no easy feat on that tip either. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like that's like, it was like, wow, like, like like you might as well have like drop kicked me on Mars and been like, survive. I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
I don't know like where to go. I was like, it's like I was, it was definitely um an interesting experience.
What was the first, like when you started writing songs early on, was there a song or a moment that you can remember when it kind of clicked and you're like, I'm actually, pretty good at this. Like I should continue.
I don't know if that moment is clicked yet, to be honest with you.
Billions of streams
I'm not
later.
sure. I don't know, I think maybe I had a song called Suburban Sprawl. I have a song called Suburban Sprawl and Alcohol. It's like actually the name of like my second record. And
Uh-huh.
um I don't know, when I wrote that I felt pretty cool. It's like I wrote it by myself, and it was like kind of like that was another cool like step. Like I didn't have a writing partner on that one. I just was like, oh, and a song called Cadillac Life, that's on that record too.
Hmm.
And I don't know, I felt like those themes, like I felt like the wordplay in those like made me feel like, oh, okay, I'm like I can do this, and then I remember, two songwriters, Linda Perry and Desmond Child, and a guy named Jimmy Harry, who's also a great songwriter. Like um all of them kind of came at me about Suburban Sprawl and Alcohol and how to like rewrite it to make it I mean, I think like I think that's when like I kind of like stuff started to crystallize. And also when I got my first major label deal,
Hmm.
I was like, all right, man, I'm not fucking crazy. Like, I mean, I'm crazy, but I'm not like that level of crazy where I'm just like, because before that you're like, am I just kidding myself here? Like, what do I think I'm doing?
Yeah.
It's
Was it
like,
like an imposter syndrome type
yeah, a
deal?
bit. Yeah, I mean, I still have that a bit, but like, God, I've had these things in my ears so long, my ears are ringing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Whew, I mean, brutal. But yeah, um, yeah, I just like, I really like, I hate to say that it was like dependent on other people for that, but like
Mhm.
you do kind of start to go like, what am I doing? Like,
Well, you
I
need
don't,
that validation, right? I mean, to
yeah, a little
continue
bit.
forward, I would think.
Yeah. And I mean, and I also felt like, you get a six-figure deal from a guy that would, rather die than fuck you, is like, hey, look at that. Wow, I must be good. I mean, it's not, I didn't get it for my like, it's like I worked at a restaurant in New York City that was all like models and stuff like working there, and
Uh-huh.
the guy that owned it just thought I was funny, and so and then the manager, who was a total meanie, like said to me one time, she's like, you didn't get hired because of your looks. I was like, no shit. Oh yeah. Oh good. Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thanks for reminding me. You're a real looker too, by the way. He's like,
You're a real looker.
thanks, man. But yeah. So I think that's when I was kind of like, okay, it's cool, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. You talked about writing songs and then kind of coming back to your own artist project. What record was that on? Was that on the major label or was that after?
Um,
Or was that
uh,
lost on you?
no, that was on Warner Brothers. Yeah, like
Oh,
when I
okay.
wrote, yeah, I signed to Warner Brothers. Like, I wrote a song called "Into the Wild" that got on a commercial, and I got the commercial before I got the deal from Warner Brothers. But a very long story of events. But like, I was writing songs for the people. Then I started singing at this night. That was like a live, like kind of karaoke live band, like, but cover songs. And like,
Uh-huh.
all these people were going, I'd have a writing session with like Nicole Scherzinger from the Pussycat Dolls, and then we'd go down there and fucking sing Zeppelin songs and shit,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
yeah, it was a scene. And then people would come, and it was like a place where I'd invite my like writing like friends and partners that I wrote, songs for, other people with down there to like see me or whatever. And they'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe, that. I'm like, I mean, you see me sing the demos. They're like, yeah, but it's different to watch someone perform. And then I got a
Mhm.
production deal from Red One, who was like blazing hot at the time, right off the Lady Gaga shit. And he
Mhm.
signed a production deal with me and wanted to make a rock record of me. And that's kind of like how things kind of started to piece together. I got a big cut with Rihanna on
Mhm.
that record, Loud, Cheers. And yeah, then I wrote all this material that just seemed very me, a song called Into the Wild, a song called Tokyo Sunrise, Forever for Now. And what? And and so it just started to like like things just started to get like kind of like heated again,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
you know, and then I put out a live EP on Warner Brothers, and it was very well received, and started touring a bunch, and then they locked me down to like make this record, and the guy, you know, Rob Cavallo, spent 2 years making this very overproduced record. I'm just telling it like it is, man.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. You
But I
know,
mean,
like,
he's a,
you
and
know,
you know, look at
he's an
his,
incredible
yeah,
producer. He's
yeah,
just,
one of
he
the
wasn't
biggest
like the
producers
right.
there
Yeah,
are.
he's incredible, and you know, and I like the guy. He's my friend, but he shouldn't have
Yeah,
produced that record, and he
right.
shouldn't have produced it like that. It needed to be less produced, you know. And
Hmm.
you know, shit happens. I mean, I don't, you know, if I would tell him to his face, you know. And but you know, what are you gonna do? Shit happens, and and you know, so I lost momentum and all this stuff, and then I played on my new shit. This, you know, some, you know, guy named Dan McCarroll was now president of Warner Brothers, and I believe he failed upward to Amazon Music. So congratulations, Dan. I'm happy for
Nice.
you. So then he like, you know, like, again, I don't give a fuck. It's like right there, like, go ahead,
That's why you're
come,
amazing.
come at me. It's like I
Many
don't give a
reasons why
shit.
you are, but
Yeah.
this is a, yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so like, you know, he hears me, you know, my favorite thing, just, you know, never gonna watch he's never gonna watch this, but my favorite thing that he did after he heard Lost on You, Muddy Waters, and Strange. You know, Lost on You, the obvious thing they did for me. Muddy Waters thing was fucking synced like 30 times. Literally, I paid off my next record deal after Warner Brothers with Vagrant. I paid it off with one sync from that song,
Wow.
and then I think 3 years after Strange was on a record, it was like in a huge Samsung commercial for a year. So all those songs killed it for me. I was like, so, you
Hmm.
know, like, so I played those 3 songs for Dan, and he goes, wow, those are great. You want to hear a great song? Then this motherfucker plays me a song by a dude who's not gay that's about being gay. And I was like,
Huh?
that's awesome. Me, of all people.
Yeah.
You know, I love your songs, LP. Let me play a song about gayness. I mean, you're gay. You can relate, right? You're gay. You're gay, right? This guy's not gay, but he wrote a song about
But he wrote a
being
song
gay.
about it,
So you
right?
want to hear it? You want to hear it in this meeting after you just played me your new shit? Yeah, I want to hear it, Dan. Please. No, no, no. Go ahead. Oh, that's really good. You know how many streams that fucking thing has on Spotify?
6.
like 6,000. I give it something like that. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm just, but
him
you know,
listening to
I
it 6
like
times.
the best thing that I emerged from my whole experience is like is I'm not bitter. I have no reason to be bitter. My everything, my dreams have literally come true. I'm so lucky and I'm so grateful. You have no idea. But it's just fun to tell these stories because I want people. I tell that story to inspire people because that, you know, that is the essence of this business. This is
Mhm.
subjective, like, you know, you know, gatekeeping hand that just goes, yeah, that's not good. You know,
Right.
and then all of a sudden, you know, like millions, billions of people differ, you know.
Mhm.
So it's just, you know, it's just wild. And I want that, you know, I want that kid, that person, you know, whatever, you know, that 30 something year old or whatever who's like, you know, still fucking, you know, going for it, like to hear that and go, oh shit, oh shit,
Mhm.
wow, you know, like it's like, because it's like that's what this is, and you got to deal with yourself, you know. And like I said, I, you know, I still have hope for everybody, for myself, for it all, you know. And
Mhm.
but you know, I have those stories, you know. It's like, yeah, you're jaded a bit, but that doesn't make me stop or make me, or like, or at all, you know, keep me down, you know. It's just like,
But
it's just
it
interesting.
could have, you know?
Oh
If you look at like, you know,
yeah.
that record, if you know, it could have got you down, you know, the major label thing, and then you put out Lost on You, and it's the biggest thing that he had done so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I sat there. I got dropped from Warner Brothers promptly after playing them those songs, and then
Uh-huh.
I was just like, okay, so that at the time was my fifth record deal, third major label deal, and I was like, yo, I am not getting any more deals. Like, I mean, I didn't even have to, like, you know, I was like, you know, that's highly doubtful. Um, you know, and I think about people that haven't experienced the other side of the coin like I have, you know, and the fact that they, you know, are, you know, they'll never know that thing. I'm so lucky to have like seen this through to the other side. I mean, Jesus
Sure.
Christ, you know, and
Mhm.
so, like I think about songs like, of Lost on News Level that could be sitting in someone's computer,
Mhm.
never to be heard from again because, it's just like this poor artist is so demoralized by this
Right.
business.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, and then, a few months later, I got that deal with Vagrant. So I forgot which question we're on. I don't even know. I'm just on a rant. You haven't
And I
even
love
asked
the
me
rant.
anything.
Yeah, this is amazing.
I don't even know if you asked me anything. I don't know. I honestly don't know how I got started on this. I don't even know like what this publication is. I don't know what we're doing because this
We're
is
just
literally
chatting.
my like my 80th interview in the last 6, 7 days.
Oh,
Like
I'm so
literally.
sorry.
No, that's okay. No, I'm doing. It's like I'm on a record cycle, man. But I, just know out there that I have no idea where I am. I have no idea. I'm like,
When did you start writing the new record? Was that
um,
started over COVID?
uh, no, it started before.
Okay.
This record was supposed to be out. I was leaving for tour in like March of 2020 supposedly, and then
Mhm.
I wasn't gonna be home until like November basically, and that record was gonna come out in October 2020. And so I had a bunch of songs, but if not for the pandemic, I probably wouldn't have had like at least 5 or 6 of these other ones that were like quite valuable on there, I think. And it's so cool to have like kind of both perspectives, even though I don't think you'd know like what is what. I
Mhm.
know what's when
Right.
things were written, but yeah, so it's about, I guess it's like a you know I 3 years since my last record, but I mean, it was pushed a whole year. It would have been 2 years out.
Sure. So you feel like it did it affect the album? I mean, it sounds like it
Oh
did. If
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, totally. I mean, even just like like a song like "One Last Time" on this record, like that was started in Athens. Are you out? Oh, really? Okay, okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Everybody needed to hear that. Sorry, I got my new phone. Everybody, very exciting
Oh,
news.
congratulations.
Hey, thank you, man. Thanks. But yeah, so yeah, I boop. What was it?
You're talking about one of the songs in the new record. I asked you if
Oh
it
yeah, one
was
last time. We started
yeah,
in Athens. Got the la da 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 that part. I just come off of like a long tour in Europe. Mike Del Rio, my producer and co-writer and like best mate. Uh, he he was opening up for me with his band with his wife, Powers they're called. And um and so we were just got off this like amazing European tour, and I had to stay in Europe because I still had a gig a week later, so I put us up in a hotel in Athens for that time, and we started writing new songs for the record, and that was like the summer of 2019. So
wow.
yeah, and I think that's when we wrote Alex Feder, my guitar player, who I wanted to like work into like getting more investment, so he could write songs in the band or whatever, and so he was just like he was in on that session, and that popped out. Mike had a this mandolina that he oddly bought in Belgium and then was using it in Greece. It's a Greek instrument, so we were like, oh, that's how fitting. So yeah, so we got that, but then I had the title "One Last Time," and I was like, I wasn't, completely sure conceptually where I was going to go with it. I had
Mhm.
a slight idea, but then when the pandemic hit, I still, I hadn't written the rest of the lyrics yet, which is odd because normally I get them done the first or second day that we write a song. But for this one, it was actually great because it didn't. I think it's because I didn't write them because we didn't have the vocal melody set for the
Mhm.
chorus. It wasn't lifting anywhere yet. Um, so I was not doing it yet. But then I hate Orson. Maybe throw his treat for him. You could get him into his good graces again. No, throw it that way. That's boring. It's like you're doing it wrong. No, no, no. Circular motions. Anyway, so yeah, I when I went into the pandemic uh with these thoughts and like watching, the news for fucking 3 months
Yeah.
and people saying goodbye to their loved ones on FaceTime was just like blowing my mind, and
Yeah,
like,
so tragic.
and my heart to smithereens. It was like brutal, and I mean, my parents have passed away. I've lost friends. For me, like when lovers, when you break up, I mean, it's like a death. It's just like
Mhm.
you never, have them the same. Like emotionally or whatever, all these things. So I was just thinking about how precious um and fleeting and love is like a relationships, and just to like
Mhm.
a reminder to myself and to other people to like cherish and these things, and so I think that really it went I think it went deeper for me, than it would have had we not been in this situation. So
Mhm.
there's like a lot of things like that. It's like, but at the same time, I tried to infuse this record with a lot of hope and ebullience to keep my spirits up, and therapize myself into not drinking 4 bottles of wine a night, to just keep it to a 3.5. You know.
Glad you paced yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I kid, but it was
That's
fun.
amazing. Well, the record is so awesome. I love it. And like I said earlier,
Thanks,
the
man.
videos are incredible.
Thank you.
And you have a huge tour coming up Europe and
I
the
do.
US.
Yeah.
That's probably
Yeah.
really exciting. Have
I'm
you?
very excited. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna, it's like I mean, even like that song "When We Touch" that opens the record. I think I'll probably, open shows with it, because that was the last concept I wrote, like kind of probably for this record, just because I felt like when it as the situation kept going, as the pandemic went on, I was just like trying to anticipate what it's going to be like when you know when
Yeah.
we finally touch again, and so I'm excited to experience that.
Have you had a chance to play yet in front of people?
Yeah. I
Okay.
did a little run in Europe. We didn't get to do every show because of like, like one of like big show in Israel didn't happen because of
Oh,
little surge.
cases or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just did I just played a huge show in Mexico City last weekend, or
Amazing.
the weekend before last, for Corona Capital, and that was pretty intense. It was beautiful.
That's cool. It must have been
Yeah.
like emotional getting up there and playing in front of people again.
Yeah, and so much like like it was wild because St. Vincent got COVID, couldn't play. My
Oh,
friend
wow.
Luke from the Kooks, his wife, when like she wasn't due for a month, and went into emergency C-section, into labor,
Oh
and had
my
an
gosh.
emergency
That's
C-section. He had to leave, and then I was playing right before Disclosure. We were the last two bands on this
uh-huh.
stage, and the guy from Disclosure got like a stomach ailment and had to be rushed to the hospital. And then they're like, "Can you
Oh,
headline that stage?"
wow.
And I was like, "Oh, can you push your set back and play? Headline it?" I was like, "I mean, yeah, sure." I mean, the poor fans that were like, "We're waiting an extra 2 hours." I was like, it's like, anybody need a chamber pot up there, because that must have sucked. But what are you gonna do? Um,
Mhm.
I think ultimately it was a success, a success.
I
But
like it.
yeah, it's like live music is I mean, it's such a unique experience, and I just like, if nothing, I've definitely emerged from this with a new appreciation for all of the freedoms. But yeah, live music is certainly one of them.
Oh yeah, and I think people are gonna be more apt to like. I was thinking like in the beginning, like, are people gonna show up to shows? Are they gonna be scared? But it's like I think people are
Yeah,
more apt than ever. Like,
yeah,
oh, LP's playing here. It's a
yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah,
I got work at 6. I don't care. I'm going because you
yeah.
never know when the next time you'll be in
You
town
don't.
is.
I mean,
Yeah.
the weirdest thing for me, to be honest with you, was the first time I went out. When you could go out, when
Mhm.
we started, like I went to a bar, and it was just like, and and that it was even actually before you were showing vaccination cards. It was like, I forget when it was. It might have been July. I went to like like a show in a bar, my friend's
Uh-huh.
show, and like people talking in my face. I was like, whoa, what, like,
You're like,
whew. Yeah, it was like so bizarre. I was like, oh my, I can feel your breath on my face. Like, weird. Like, thank God it's not bad breath, but like it was like really like kind of shocking to the system to get,
Mhm.
back at that.
Totally. Well, LP, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing this
Thanks, man.
interview. I really appreciate it.
It's
I do
super
have
fun.
one. I have one quick question for you. I want to know
What
if
do
you
you
have any advice for aspiring artists.
I mean, the biggest thing, and I think I covered this in spades, before
Mhm.
on my
I'm sure
massive
you
rant.
did. Yeah.
If you're in doubt, please go back 55 minutes and I'll be going on for 20 minutes on it. But yeah, no, I would say just keep writing songs. Be as prolific as you can. I feel like songs find you back to yourself. Like, I think that there's no substitute for it. And it's very interesting what happens as you kind of continue down this path of writing. I can even see songs that were stepping stones to some of my other songs, and it's amazing, and it's thrilling in its way. I think that, like, nobody knows but you how much better you've gotten as a writer, to be honest. I mean, yes, fans could tell if you get lucky and get to that place, but I think it's really you can really, like, I even just the accuracy, and I feel like the fluidity with which I can, like, trim the fat of, like, a song and feel like I know I know what's gonna be good after repeated listens. For some reason, I feel like I know that, or like, but like it's just something I feel like I know I got better at, and just the ease with which I can do it feels better. And I think that's just from writing a shit ton of songs. I know it's from that, so that's what I would say.
Thank you so much.
That,
I
and get a
really
helmet
appreciate it.
because it's rough out there.
Get a helmet.
Just like, don't let some asshole behind a desk stop you from keeping on. That's it.
Bringing it backward.